Hi guys, it's Sandy, and this is going to be pretty short because I'm just kind of putting the tree and figure out if I'm doing this correctly. But the idea is to put in a tree that the eagle is trying to land in. And what I have to do is figure out where he's going and how low on the tree is he going to be. So if I make the tree really big, he's going past the tree. So I have to make it look like he's actually going to hit the tree about here. And I have to make the tree smaller than I had planned, I think. I can't make it go all the way up because it'll look like it's too close. So my brain is telling me that I have to make it be the top of the tree, then I can run it off if it's the top. And eagles don't normally sit in the middle of trees, they sit at the top. At least that's what I seem to remember. So I'm going to run a little line. Kind of looks like he's going here. So I'm going to run a line right here. I can't make it too thick because at the top the tree is not that thick, but I need to make it big enough for him to actually be able to sit in it. So this is where I'm going. If you hear a kind of creaking noise, I'm running a rotator right now, so I'm in the middle of making another vase out of those bottles. If you saw that already, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, I'll post it when it's done. And the other noise is the cat chasing something. I have no idea what it is, but at least she's not meowing this time. Okay. Maybe a little bit higher. That looks totally possible. I just ran into the camera. I've got it sitting right next to me. So, the top of the tree in pines, branches run up. So, thinking I need to put one right about in here. Then it can actually be going to. And then we'll put a few more, because this is a big tree. So they're going to have all kinds of stuff coming off it. That can kind of run off. Really hope I don't ruin this painting because I really like it. I'll just run that down that way. And pull that up. Make it a little bit bigger. And this one can kind of start coming out this way. And that looks possible. I think that looks possible. Okay. So we're going to leave that. And now we just have to firm up the branch. I've got linseed in the paint to try and get it a little bit more clean looking instead of a dry brush look. Make sure I turn my brush the right way. That might make it a little bit easier to actually create these branches. Grab some linseed, thin this out a little bit more. And as they come in, they need to be a little bit thicker when they connect. Let's work them into the tree. All right. Gonna leave that alone for now. It might not be a pine tree by the time I'm done. We'll see how things go. Time to switch to a fan brush. And I'll start with a little one. And I'm going to mix some of my deep brown over here. Wipe that off. And some white. I need a lighter brown for the shadowed part of the tree, for the leafy part. Just want to touch on it like I did over there. And we're going to go for it and see, like I said, I hope I don't ruin this thing. We're going to do this kind of thing. Just tapping it. When you do this kind of stuff, you kind of have to go across the branch. Don't go along the line of the branch, right? Because what's happening is that these are not attached to the main branch. They're attached to smaller branches that come off of that. So keep that in mind. I think I got too much down here. I need to make that brown again. Little eagle's going to land. He's got to have a place to land, and it can't be someplace that's full of leaves. I can touch that up later if I desire. So this one here is kind of where I'm aiming at, right in here. And we're hoping that that works. So now, let's go with a little bit of yellow. Kind of brushing that in there lightly. Now, I don't even need to be following the same stuff as the other one. I think we've decided this is probably not a pine, which makes more sense because pine trees' branches are so close together. I don't know if an eagle could actually land in one unless it sat at the very top. So we'll just leave that like that. Now we're going to go for some green. Green needs to kind of go underneath the yellow a little bit, because the yellow is more the highlight color. I think I need a little bit more paint. I'm using the same colors that I used over here. Nothing new. Although that brown is mushing everything up. Need more greens. I have too much brown. I'll deal with it. If I have to, I'll wait till it dries and then paint over it. I think I need to make another green. This one's all used up, and I need a darker green anyway. This is a good background color, and we just need some highlights and lowlights, I think. Normally I wouldn't like this hole there. I would be filling it in. I might do a little bit, just a little bit. Like I said, he's got to see something he can land on, so can't do too much. Okay, I need to make more green. So I'm taking my blue that's already on the palette. Taking my yellow that's already on the palette. I'm using the same palette that I used before. This time I'm not adding any white in, so it's going to be a stronger green. That's what you want when you're coming to the foreground now. And let's see what we get. The house is getting warm. I'm resisting turning the AC on, but I know it's like 90 degrees outside. I'll start with some fans first. Not too bad. Need some even darker green though. So let's add some more blue into my green. Right now it's so flat looking. I need to add some dimension. I think I'll add some lighter yellow as well. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm liking that better already with the darker green. Just kind of pushing it for some dimension. My turner is making noise. I have a feeling the weight of my project back there is going to break it eventually. I'm turning pretty heavy bottles that I'm turning into vases. I posted one online. Let's do that a little bit. Oh my goodness. Alright, we have to get some more branches back in now. Going straight to the black. Or the dark brown. Let's get a few branches coming on. Especially in here where it's so full. We need some broken stuff going on here. That poor turner. I have a feeling I'm going to have to buy a new one before I get all these things done. I don't like that hole, but it has to be there. I kind of think I made this come up too far too. I'm going to wait for it to dry and then I'll probably come back over it with blue and slim the tree down a bit. And I think that'll make a difference. So for now, we're stopping right there. And we'll see how I feel about it later. But I think that's coming out too far. It's kind of weird because you can't see what happens on that side. It makes this side look weird. So I think I'm going to end up cutting it back here. But that has to be when it dries, so that'll be a couple days from now. Now the next thing that I can do is take a very small brush and see if I can detail this stuff a little bit more. I should probably start over here since I'm left-handed. Otherwise, I'm going to have my fingers in wet paint. I will clean that up with some blue too, so that the feathers have a nice, good shape all the way through. All that is like final day stuff. And all you're trying to do is do minor corrections. And I have to do this to bring that out a little bit more. And now we're going to put in a few details here. I hope that didn't interrupt the flow of the painting. I have to use my regular phone for this, so I don't... Sometimes I get interrupted. Making this a little darker. That's the back body. Making this a little bit darker. You can see where the body blends into the back of it. Just contrast. Contrast helps bring stuff out. That's all we're doing. It's giving contrast. My brain tells me that this needs to be longer right there. It's like coming down. And it's going back up. These are probably supposed to be shorter, going back up that way. So, again, let me get a clean brush. I need a baby. This might work. I'm gonna grab some blue. Sorry about that. That's my alarm telling me it's time for me to eat. I'm trying very hard to lose weight. I'm gonna take some blue down in here. That's where I had to shrink the claws on this guy. And it still looked a little bit green to me, so we're just kind of cleaning that up a little bit. And we're going to come back in here with the cloud, because that got a little bit of the yellow in it as well. I want to clean that up a little bit. I'm using the lightest blue that I have here for this one. Just there we go. I think I'm going to do the medium blue right in here. Blend that out just a little bit. Okay, now I need to clean up the claws. So what do I want to do first? I want to separate out the individual claws. So we're going to put a little bit of brown on the bottom. The challenges we face. I think my dinner smells like it's about done, which means I should be going over there and eating and stopping my painting. I'm going to just enhance the orange a little bit. I'm going a little bit darker than what was there, so it'll show up a little better. Same with the beak. Now, right behind the beak, believe it or not, there's a tiny, tiny bit of brown separating it from the head. So I have to do this a little bit. Just barely touch it. Wipe off my brush and kind of blend it in as much as I can. And then I have to come back in with some white for the highlight on the top of the head. I'm using real white this time, because this is a final highlight on this, I hope, unless I really mess up bad. I'm going to bring it all the way back like that. I'm going to blend it in. Get it softened down a little bit. And then I'm going to clean up that eye as well. And I don't have black, I'm going to use brown. Get the eyeball. And just barely touching the canvas, I'm pulling out the eye socket. Just. Okay, that works. It's a little bit cleaner. It's showing up a little better. Still not happy with this claw. It should be rounded a little more. But now I have to wait for that paint to dry. This really does bother me. I'm gonna end up doing that blue. It'll make sense. This can be as far out as it goes, and then it can come back in a little bit here. All right, that concludes the live today. We are almost at the final end here, and we'll post it when it's done. Hi, Dan. Surprised you're on here. Thanks for the compliment on the eagle. Those things are a pain in the butt to paint, I'll tell you. I'm going to post it.